Thank you.
My name is Frank Yu. My topic today is the construction of an Islamic community center in Lower Manhattan, also known as Park 51 or the Ground Zero Mosque. So a lot of people are saying that it's offensive to the 9/11 victims and their families or people that were close to them. But what I'm trying to prove today is that Park 51 will be a positive asset to the local community and will help boost the struggling economy. The community center will help pave the way for new environmentally friendly buildings because it is pursuing US GBC's, which is the US Green Building Council's LEED certification, which is it means the building is very eco-friendly and leaves a smaller carbon footprint. And if it succeeds in passing, it could set an example for future community centers, mosques, churches, synagogues, and the like. It has a lot more impact than LEED certified hotel or school, government building, mainly because it's a church or like a mosque. And it has a lot more influence because it has the capacity to mold public opinion because it is a church and a lot of people follow that religion. And on the website it says it not only displays that it is dedicated to pluralism, service, arts and culture, education and empowerment, appreciation for our city, and a deep respect for our planet. So not only is it trying to pursue their own ideals and building a community center, they're also trying to be more environmentally friendly. Also, the community center benefits not only New York citizens and the entire community of Lower Manhattan, but also the entire country because if they can get it brings them closer together because they're being more open and more tolerant. Also, the biggest community center in Lower Manhattan is located on Bowery in Houston, but it's located in a basement. So the fact that citizens would no longer have to just travel to end up in some basement would be motivation enough to sign up for this new community center and help the economy. The residents of Lower Manhattan need services, investment in neighborhood and community, activities and opportunities. Community Board 1, which represents the residents of Lower Manhattan, they're like a group that discusses these kind of issues. They acknowledge the needs that Park 51 fulfills, and they gave clear support on 2 different occasions. This project will create many new jobs and careers for New York citizens, and this would assist in the United States economy struggle and enhance New York's position as a global hub of ideas and culture. This project not only benefits both citizens, but also it addresses the Muslim citizen as well. Not only because of the mosque, but every other amenity in the building. There are a few other mosques in Lower Manhattan, some of which have either been shut down or not large enough to accommodate the hundreds of thousands of Muslims in New York and 1.3 million in the tri-state area. Third point is Park 51. The Park 51 project will promote good citizenship and good American values. It's not just a mosque that allows only Muslims in, but that's what a mosque is. It is a community center built on tolerance, open-mindedness, and understanding. It will also promote education, art, culture, recreation. The building has amenities such as a library, a reading center, a 500-seat auditorium, exhibitions, art studios, restaurants, culinary school, education, and a lot more recreational activities. It is just as much as a mosque as the building next to it is. It does, however, contain a mosque. People do find it offensive, or it's not a mosque, it's actually a prayer space, and actually anyone can rent it out, but it's actually aimed toward Muslims. They find it offensive because of its proximity to the 9/11 attack site, but it's actually going to be run separately from the Park 51 project. It's in the same area, but then it's actually a different company running it. And it's still going to be available to members and New York citizens, and it has a 9/11 memorial and contemplation space as a tribute to the tragic loss of life on September 11, 2001. Yeah.
The topic is identified. The way you phrase the proposition, it sounds like there are two claims built in there. That might be your preview also, although finally you end up with a third claim that you identify. So I'm not exactly sure if it's the proposition in two parts or a preview, and then we add another part later on. So at the start, it needs to be a lot more organized as a presentation. You do get very descriptive in what the intent of the project is and what the plans call for, but what you don't address are the issues of the need, for instance, for the 500-seat theater, the restaurant that you talk about, the multicultural outreach program. Do we need all of those kinds of things? Do we not have access to any of that right now in that part of the city? I think that that's one of the things that would demonstrate a little bit of need. Of course, all of that avoids the controversy, which is mostly about the question of value. There is an argument that says that building this is going to spread understanding, and that's a claim of fact that you're going to do. But there's no evidence to show that it's going to spread understanding. There's plenty of evidence to show that that's what they want it to do, or at least that's what people who are advocating this say they want on their own website, which is a little strange because you're quoting the website of the organization that wants to put this into place as opposed to independent evaluators of those needs. I think that that's a little self-serving. You want to be careful about that. So for instance, are there other places that have had these kinds of outreach, multicultural centers? Has it changed the attitudes of people in the neighborhood? Has it created a greater sense of unity and brotherhood and all the things that it's supposed to do? Has it resulted in outreach? If you could show, for instance, that that was happening in some other situation or some other cases, then I think you've got a stronger argument on that point. The better argument that you have at one point is that there's an argument that says, well, it uses this particular kind of construction. It's been approved twice by the board in that particular area, so there is a need for it. The notion that because it's a mosque or it's a religious place, that's going to encourage people to follow the LEED certification, I think that's a big stretch there. On the issue of need, like I said, I think that's something that you needed to develop a little bit more, and you had one piece of evidence that talks about that because the board has approved it twice, is saying, you know, this is something that we could use in this area, but I think you need a little bit more development on that particular point. All right, and you could use a little bit more energy in the presentation. Thank you.